So hi, One Look Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
We're here with
Anthony Amorim. Hello.
And we're asking some questions to say about his new album, Nostalgic. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
Thank you. The response has been really good. Nostalgic as the lead single has been performing pretty well. And then also one of the songs on it called Stoned is doing better than I expected, which I'm stoked about because that's my favorite song on the record.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Well,
yeah.
The album fucking rocks.
It does. It really does.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad that, because the last time we spoke, you had just kind of made the jump from the very acoustic stripped back stuff and started to add the production, and that comes through on this album as well. Everything's got that full production that you were working on with those first couple of songs.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's at the end of 2020 is when we did the Sad Forever Deluxe. And so the 3 tracks, Torn, All My Favorite Bands Use Long Song Titles, and Pretending all had that kind of newer sounding production. And this is my first record that has the whole thing sounds exactly how I want it.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah. Now, gotta ask, because it has been a minute since the last full release, like, was it just the hold up of writing the record? Was there something else? I mean, it's been 3 years now.
So basically, yeah, it's been 3 years almost since between Sad Forever Deluxe and Nostalgic. Mm-hmm. We wrote the record. We started writing it in 2020. We had the record done for the most part in 2021. Oh. Yeah, like the middle of 2021 is when I stopped the production sessions with Liam McCullough, my producer, who in the last interview was a joint interview with both of us.
Yeah.
And I basically everything sounded good, but it didn't sound. I wanted it to be really, really polished. So we ended up getting an executive producer, Kyle Dredden, who took over the mixes for 4 of the songs on the record. And that is where the time was kind of spent. Okay. Took forever. And then I moved from Nashville to Jersey. Mm-hmm. And I'm still in the middle of that move right now. Mm-hmm. So I had the record, it was done, and I just never knew when to release it. And finally I was like, you know what? Also, I was working with AWOL for the singles. Mm-hmm. And AWOL wouldn't let me upload songs that had multiple features on the record. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to use DistroKid. This music needs to come out. I need to be able to do all the splits and what have you. So yeah, it took me a second, but it's finally here.
Hell yeah. Very stoked. Yeah. When that Instagram post popped up that the album was going to be out in 2 weeks, I was like, about fucking time, man.
What?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, truly.
Hell yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
So basically, we wrote the lead single. So it's funny. This project was originally supposed to be called Welcome to Nash, Jersey.
That's awesome.
And we had that was the title for the longest time. And it was supposed to be in 2021. I dropped 5 or 6 projects just in that time. And so it's supposed to be EPs, 6 EPs.
How many tracks are going to be on each of those EPs? Sorry to interject. 5?
5?
So 30 songs.
Holy fuck.
So 30 songs, yeah. And then we started working on it at the end of 2020. We wrote The Closest. I had Drinking For. I came back in January and wrote Stoned. And it was supposed to be Drinking For, Stoned, Pick Me Up, The Boys, and The Closest as my 5 tracks. Mm-hmm. And then it just developed and we realized, okay, no, that's not plausible.
That's a tall order.
Yeah. And then I waited, and in May of 2021, I got together with Callaway Martin, and we were just me, him, and Liam were just listening to little snippets of beats that Calloway had made, and we found the one that sounds like burn, 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 which ended up being like the main riff of Nostalgic. And I'm glad we waited, because that ended up being the title track. And with the album art, basically, I always struggle with album art, because I'm like, originally it was supposed to be a picture of me with something painted on my back, like Nash jersey, as like the greetings from postcard font.
Yeah.
On my back on a like a denim jacket with my ukulele or my guitar, my mini guitar that I have in my other room, actually. With the Nashville skyline. That was always how I envisioned it. And then by the time the album like was ready and done, I was like, fuck it, I just need to find some other thing. And I was going through my mom is like obsessed with taking photos and has been for our entire lives. And she has every single photo since like 2003 backed up on her Google Drive.
Yeah.
On her Google Photos. So I found that picture and I was like, that would make a really neat album cover.
Yeah.
And also, if you look at the album cover for The Boys, that's an old family photo. And the album cover for Talk to You is an old photo of my parents. So it ended up all fitting a theme with like nostalgic and nostalgia, that the album art be us for me and my 3 siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome. It's fucking awesome.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Yes. So most of these songs on the record, I think all but 2, were written as co-writes with me and Liam McCullough. We had some other people kind of hop in, like my friend Isaiah Zach. He helped us co-write The Boys and Talk to You. And this was a different way of going. So like for Sad Forever Deluxe, for example, and the Sad Forever EP, those were songs that I'd written for school. Because I was a songwriting major at Belmont. So going through this record, this was the first time that we got together and we're like, all right, hey, let's write something. Let's see what pops up. And that's how we ended up writing Talk to You, was just kind of messing around with keyboard stuff. And I knew, having just gone through a breakup, kind of what I wanted to say. It's so funny that so much of my music ends up being like longing, a breakup, relationship music, but that's like what I'm mostly inspired by.
Yeah.
And then Stoned was one that I took a trip to Key West, Florida, and there was a gentleman, and nothing happened. He was a friend of mine, but I just had crazy feelings for him.
Yeah.
And so I got back and I was like, I need to write something, but it needs to be platonic. It can't be like, there can be longing. So like, this is how I want it to be. Just kind of came across like it's a situationship type song.
Yeah.
Where you're just fully content with how things go. And that and Pick Me Up were the 2 songs that I wrote by myself.
Okay.
For the record.
And you mentioned this is the first time that you wrote a project that like wasn't for school, correct?
Yes, yeah. So this was except Pick Me Up was an old track from my Belmont days.
Okay.
But this was like moving forward after graduation, what needs to be said, what needs to be done with my music. And Drinking For, I think, is the best representation of all that. I say in like the for opening lines of the song is I've called this place home since 4 years ago, and at this point now it's been 7. But but yeah, it's just it was definitely like my post graduation album.
Absolutely. And how did that like change your writing process for you at all? Like, I don't know what your kind of assignments were like, if there was any sort of like guidelines you had to follow in the writing, but did it change for you at all? Like with it just being like you and there's no grades attached to it or anything like that?
Yeah. I was really fortunate that my music that I wrote for school was really well received. Mm-hmm. By my teachers and my professors that I had. Mm-hmm. The only time I can think of when I really flopped on something was the original cut of Mr. Melancholy, which was like I have it somewhere, but it was just like not it.
Fair enough.
But I felt the writing process this time around was good because I felt like I didn't have to rush anything.
Yeah.
I felt like I literally took 3 years making this project nearly.
Yeah.
And so the writing, I'm not one for rewriting songs. That's what a lot of songwriters and a lot of songwriting professors have told me, like rewriting is the key to writing. Mm-hmm. But when I write something, I know it. I just like, I feel it and it's just there. Mm-hmm. And I know, like, while She Doesn't Sleep, for example, off my last record, mm-hmm. That I wrote for a class, and I wrote it the night before it was due. Mm-hmm. And it ended up being now it's like my second top stream song ever. It's got like 12 million streams.
Because that shit goes hard.
Shit goes hard. Yeah. Hard. I love that song. So that's probably my favorite song I've ever made. But it was so different, and it was just, I don't know. I feel like, the songwriting, the style of songwriting definitely changed especially because I had Liam so closely involved in this project. And he's such a fantastic songwriter as well. Mm-hmm. I was able to bounce our ideas off of him. That's how we wrote The Closest. Like, I had the first pre-chorus done in my head, and Liam and I just got together and knocked out the whole rest of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was definitely like my partner in crime.
Hell yeah.
During this project.
Fuck yeah. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
I wrote Stoned really quickly. We wrote Talk to You, I think we had done that day. I think maybe the second pre-chorus of The Closest was something that we had a little trouble with. Mm-hmm. No, you know what? It was definitely The Closest, because we had so many ideas of how it was going to sound that ended up just completely being flipped on its head. We had no idea what we wanted to do for the outro. Mm-hmm. We had the first verse, first pre-chorus already written. Second pre-chorus took some time, and then I just had no clue how I wanted to end it. Mm-hmm. And it was originally supposed to end with this like layering of the pre-choruses over the chorus. Mm-hmm. And that just ended up going nowhere and sounding kind of jank. Mm-hmm. And then that's when we decided to just really punch it up and make it like full Demi Lovato, Don't Forget, rock.
Yeah.
Rock music. Mm-hmm. And that's probably my favorite vocal performance on the whole record. That and some of the harmony stuff on Pick Me Up. But when it really goes into the, out of all the ones that got away, you got the closest. Mm-hmm. That was like mind-boggling to hear back and be like, wow, that really is like all my emotion. But my favorite song on the record is Stoned, mm-hmm. because it's so cute and it's so summery and just very nonchalant and very, I just love it. I love that song so much.
Hell yeah.
Good pick.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
So the most difficult part of the track list selection was where to put the covers,
mm-hmm.
because Who Knew is a cover of Pink's song, and then Round Here is a cover of the Counting Crows song.
Mm-hmm.
And there was originally supposed to be another cover, LG Fuad, Let's Get Fucked Up and Die by Motion City Soundtrack.
Great song.
Which is my favorite song of all time. Like literally my number one favorite song ever since I was a kid.
I love that band.
Yeah, so do I. Motion City Soundtrack rules.
Yeah.
They're so fucking awesome.
But we ended up cutting that because I am someone who needs even numbers on my releases, and it couldn't be 11 songs. Couldn't do it.
Fair enough.
And I had one track, or actually there were two tracks. One track that I wrote way after the album was done, which is probably going to be on my next project, whatever my next project ends up being.
Mm-hmm.
It's called I'm Sorry, and it's another breakup song. It's kind of like the spiritual successor to Stuck With You off my Lost album. And then there was one song called By Now that I wrote with my friend Molly Martin, who is an incredibly talented songwriter. And I was going to put the demo for it on there. So there was a chance that I would put LG Fuad and the demo of that song and make it an even 12 songs. But who knows? I might end up doing a nostalgic deluxe, Greetings from Nash Jersey deluxe, whatever.
You gotta send that Motion City cover in the meantime.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I can make that if you guys ever end up doing another festival, I can make it part of that.
Yeah,
that'd be sick as fuck.
Good.
Yeah.
And the only thing is that the opening, I can never get the opening line. The way the opening line sounds, and the way that we did the third verse was we did it in half style, like half drum style, and it sounds so good, but that opening line just never hits my ear the right way. And I'm like, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it is.
Like the beginning is like the first like 5 seconds of the song are the most important.
Yeah.
And it just didn't hit the right way. But track list wise, I knew Drinking For was going to be the opener. And I always try to make the second song on my record the single, like one of the lead singles. But yeah, other than that, like Pick Me Up, I knew it was going to be the closer because of how the lyrics parallel with The Boys. Like The Boys says, just pick me up from the bar floor, we'll make some noise. This whole record is basically about drinking, which is funny because I don't even drink that much.
Yeah.
But it's more about coping than it is about drinking. And Drinking For was definitely like that pop punk edginess, like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'm drinking, what am I drinking for? And then it gets a little deeper, and then Pick Me Up is like the result of that, the ending of the party. It's kind of like my melodrama by Lord moment, if you know what I'm talking about. Like oh, how fast the evening passes, cleaning up the champagne glasses. Like that sort of thing where
Gotcha.
Yeah, where I've got people to come to the party, but no one to help pick me up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you were creating this record?
Yeah. It was definitely breakup season. I had just gotten out of a pretty long relationship, and I knew, the closest, Talk to You, Drinking For, those are all longing songs, like there's that pain, and then Stoned is the happy kind of getting away from it, getting out of it moment on the record. Let me pull up the record real quick because I know there's something I'm missing. Yeah, The Closest, Talk to You, Who Knew to some extent, and Drinking For and Pick Me Up are all sort of along the lines of like relationship type. I mean, maybe not Pick Me Up so much, but yeah, definitely coming out of a relationship. Definitely excuse me, um, feeling like post-college adulting stuff going on
Yeah.
that I have had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Not being on a set path anymore,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of complicated. Yeah, that's kind of where I was at the whole time. I was like post graduation, so I was stoked to be making music full time at that point in my life,
Mm-hmm.
but also feeling like sad because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
And having gone through that breakup that was a result of the pandemic hitting, because I got stuck in Jersey for like 5 months.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And when I got back, it was end of relationship and into my life in Nashville without being in that relationship. And I moved to a new place also.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just all these things kind of changing all the time. But I knew like what I wanted to be writing about and what the project would end up being.
Hell yeah. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
It's a driving album.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It's definitely nostalgic is definitely a windows down, going through your hometown type song. That's literally what it's about, like going home after college, and realizing that your friends are gone. Or, I mean, I guess for those first couple after high school, when you get back from college, like your friends are there because it's like Thanksgiving break and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But once that's over, I'm back in Jersey now, and all my friends are moved away.
Yeah.
But it's definitely got, the whole album has like pop punk energy to it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not straight up pop punk, like Drinking For was very Blink-182 inspired. Nostalgic is super Simple Plan inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's a driving album
for sure.
And then Pick Me Up can be like a sad headphones time.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's like, you're coming home, you didn't quite finish the record, so you go inside and you finish the last song in your headphones.
Yeah. It's Round Here and Pick Me Up are like, okay,
I'm fucking sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. So this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Okay. Off the top of my head, I think it's energetic.
Okay.
I think it's applicable.
Okay.
To a lot of different situations and a lot of different feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's progressive in terms of my sound.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's definitely leagues forward.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Fuck
and in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I think whatever floats your boat when it comes to that. A lot of the record is heartache and longing, and if that is something that you're into, if like I don't want to have to say you should feel bad. But longing is definitely like my key. That's like my core emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Writing this record, it's like wanting to reach out, talk to you is like a fun, bouncy pop song until you listen to the words, and it's like, oh no, it's actually kind of sad. Like, all I want to do is reach out, and I can't, or I'm afraid to. So yeah, I think just, being good spirits, Drinking For, nostalgic, and stoned, those 3 right off the bat are like, hell yeah, energy. And then you can kind of get in your feels a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
A little bit. So, are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
I mean, I don't really it was kind of a fluid process. I mean, not switching producers, getting the executive producer and that taking like ages was difficult. And there were a lot of passes back and forth of the like mixes of the songs and trying to, because with Nostalgic, I wanted that to be like radio ready, absolutely the most perfect it could sound. And I think that's what we achieved. And, you know, obviously you, as a listener of your own music, you do the headphone test, the out loud speaker test, and the car test. And it has to be perfect. And we had that for most of the tracks pretty early on, but Nostalgic was the one that I was like, this needs to be like, no guitar can be muddled. Nothing can be like, it has to be so crisp and so clean. And Kyle did a fantastic job. Kyle Dredden, who ended up mixing the final kind of, he ended up doing a pass on each of the 4 singles, except for the boys. He didn't touch the boys. But Stoned, Talk to You, the closest, and Nostalgic. Nice. And Pick Me Up was perfect how it was. Liam killed the whole project. The fact that Liam produced, him and his brother Aaron McCullough were able to produce the whole record, because all of the drums on it are fake. There were no live recorded drums on the whole record.
God damn.
All drum machine, and that's Aaron. Like it was just, I mean, the creative process was my favorite for any album that I've ever put out, because Liam and I would just get together every day and work on music, which was super cool. But yeah, no, nothing super difficult. I guess just like the amount of time that it took for the actual album to be out. Was the most difficult part.
Absolutely. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Snack of choice. In my mind, I immediately went to like a tasty cake.
Oh, a tasty cake. Okay, which one though?
Like a cupcake, one of those tasty cake.
With the little swirl on top.
Yes. Nice. Yeah. But that's not. It's so funny because that's something I would never think to get.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, yes, that sounds incredible. That's like the best thing in the world. But I would never get it because of the calories.
Yeah.
Like, that's just putting garbage into your body.
Yeah.
But that's where my mind went.
Dude, that's fair enough.
Other than that, the fact that they flaming hot everything these days, love it.
Yeah, best thing ever.
Not in the morning, but when you're eating it, it's pretty awesome.
No. First thing in the morning. First thing on my stomach, flaming hot bag of Cheetos. You know?
No. I'm talking about the outcome after eating them the night before. Not first thing in the morning.
Oh yeah, not the greatest. I had they used to make flaming hot Mountain Dew. Did you guys see that?
I refuse to try it.
I'm gonna imagine that you just made that up.
No, it's real.
It's real, and I loved it.
Oh, you're one of those people. You were the reason why that shit was on store shelves for so long and why they kept fucking making it.
So good. I don't know what about it. It was just like a sugary, spicy Mountain Dew.
I just found the guy that was buying it.
Was it spicy like a what is it called? A hot tamale? Is that what they're called? The cinnamon.
Yes, candy? Exactly like that. Yeah. It was spicy like it didn't taste like Cheetos or anything.
Yeah, no.
Mountain Dew, but flaming hot.
Hot.
However you envision that taste. I don't know. I was all about it.
You know, I'm glad you liked it.
Now you see, my partner and I try a lot of weird shit. We stayed far, far away from the flaming hot Mountain Dew. I'm glad you liked it, though.
That's a shame. It was good. It was really good.
Next time I see it, I'll grab it.
Yeah, I have to take your word for it. Now, they took that shit off store shelves. I guess Anthony stopped buying it.
Forever? Oh, my God, it's going to come back.
I only bought it like twice.
Okay.
I'm ragging on you.
I wasn't regularly drinking it.
That's fair. So on the topic of food, if your music project was a dish, what dish would it be and why?
Like a home-baked mac and cheese.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because it's pop punk just feels like home to me.
Mm-hmm.
and it feels like comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where my mind went immediately. Just like a dish of like, with the breadcrumbs on top,
Oh, okay, okay,
like,
okay.
like a classic baked mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
All
Fuck
right.
with it.
So for the last couple questions, we're going to shift completely away from music. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, what animal would you be and why?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say like an orangutan
Oh.
because I feel like have really cool lives and they are capable of doing so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was an animal, I feel like it would be the most fun to be an orangutan
Mm-hmm.
because they're just doing their thing,
Yeah.
When you see them at the zoo,
Mm-hmm.
or like a chimpanzee, one of those, an orangutan or a chimpanzee.
Okay. Yeah.
I just think they're smart,
Mm-hmm.
and I would want to still be like, wow, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like motionable. I know that's not a word, but
Yeah.
I would like my fingers to work.
Mobile?
Yeah.
Mobile.
Yeah.
Have your opposable thumb still and shit like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Human-like,
mobile, that's the
I guess.
Yeah. Human-like.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't have to like actually use brain power to do stuff. I can just.
You don't have to pay taxes or anything.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Just
That's
going forward.
Exactly.
Right.
Fuck yeah. So if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
That's a tough one.
It is.
My immediate go-to is Tina Fey.
Oh, okay.
Because I adore Tina Fey. 30 Rock is my favorite show ever.
Damn right.
Yeah. And I've seen it so many times, but I still would have like a million questions about what it's like being on set and all the different guest stars and everything that she's done since. Like I was reading her book, Bossy Pants, and it's so fascinating. She's such a fascinating person.
Yeah.
And I adore her.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And then artist-wise, I would say Eminem.
Eminem, that's a crazy pairing.
Eminem, yeah. Eminem is actually like my main influence when it comes to music because I am so lyric. Yeah, I am so lyric driven.
Uh-huh.
And I'm so all about internal rhymes. And that's something I learned from like being obsessed with Eminem as a kid. His new stuff is fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But like peak Eminem, like if you go through the Slim Shady LP or the Marshall Mathers LP or the Eminem show all the way through.
I love the Eminem show. Yeah.
Yeah, it is just like peak music. So fucking good. And then like, so for example, my song Pretending, but I think I'm addicted to something that's I've never felt this way about anybody before. Face down on the floor. And I'm acting like it and surprising the things you do though. It's so hypnotizing, so hard to control it whenever I'm feeling it, begging for more. Like that's rap music. That's internal rhymes, that's syllables, like and also I just love Eminem. I just love him. I watched 8 Mile pretty recently for the first time.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, he just seems like a cool dude.
Okay, yeah.
He seems like he'd be nervous all the time. He gives off like a nervous rabbit energy all the time.
Okay, yeah.
So I think it'd be cool to have lunch with him and be like, "Hey, what are you actually like?"
What's up, man? Yeah.
Fair enough.
What's up, Slim? What's up, Marshall?
What's up, Slim?
And for this last question, boom, you're on a desert island. You can bring one movie, one album, and one person. Who and what are you bringing?
One movie I'm bringing. That's really tough. My favorite movie of all time is The Ring.
The Ring.
The Ring, the 2002 horror movie.
Yeah.
About the videotape that when you watch it, you die in 7 days. It's my favorite movie ever.
Okay.
But I don't know that I would bring that I think I would want to bring something really long. If I could bring like the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy, I would want to do that, like extended edition and everything.
Damn, that's like 20 hours of fucking.
I know exactly. That's why. Yeah. Because it'd give me like the most content. I wouldn't want to get bored, and also there's so much to like do and learn. Album Easy is Pure Heroin by Lorde.
Okay.
Nice.
That's like I think one of the few like perfect from track to track albums ever, except for the deluxe version, which has No Better, I think is the track that I just do not like.
Fuck that song.
Fuck that song.
Yeah.
But the original like standard issue of Pure Heroin is like, I think, such a masterpiece. Oh, yeah. That, or even How to Save a Life by The Fray. That record, flawless. It's like nearly perfect. That's another one that I would bring if I could bring two.
Okay.
All right.
And then also like the Black Parade.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Or Blink-182 self-titled.
I was just listening to that earlier today. I fucking love that record. Yeah.
They still play Down, Violence, and Always.
They need to keep Violence on the set list forever. That is my favorite song. Yeah.
I agree. Down is mine. But Violence is in my top 3.
Good.
Love that song. That song is literally just like my childhood MP3 player, like most played song.
Yeah, I had it. It was one of the first songs that I ripped off the internet to put on my Zoom. And I was so fucking addicted to it. I remember just listening to the thing. I was like the coolest kid ever. I was not.
Because you ripped that shit off the internet.
I did. I fucking did. I got that shit. And
then person, I would bring my twin brother, Nick.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Easy to spend time with.
Love that.
Would want him also stuck with me.
Perfect.
Yeah. So as I said, that's all the questions we have to say. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Listen to my new album, Nostalgic. It is available everywhere. Also, you can follow me on Twitter and X and Instagram. Sorry.
We call it Twitter here.
Yeah, we say Twitter.
Good. All right, good.
Yeah.
I call it Twitter all the time. My sister just corrected me the other day. She's like, "You mean X?"
No.
And I'm like, "Fuck, you mean X?"
Yeah.
Stop that. Stop that.
I'm at Anthony Amorim on all socials, so you can follow me there. I haven't started Twitch streaming. I'm about to start Twitch streaming. So I guess Anthony Amorim on Twitch. If you are watching this a couple months from now.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you for now. It's been Anthony Amorim, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.